Hey guys, what's up? This is White Boy for the win, and welcome back to Why Mega Evolve. Now, earlier this week we talked about Mega Jinx, and today we're going to be talking about Mega Rampardos. But before we get started, let me just give you guys a brief explanation of what this series is about. Now, every week I will be picking two Pokemon that either need a Mega Evolution, deserve a Mega Evolution, or I want a Mega Evolution for. Now, this is based off my opinion alone, and no one else's. Now, if you guys do not like my opinion, then please post your own opinions in the comment section down below about what would you keep, what would you change, and etc. And at the end of every video, I will be telling you guys which Pokemon we're going to be talking about the following day. So with that said, here is Mega Rampardos. Now, I've been wanting to talk about the 4th gen fossils for a while now, and it wasn't that there really wasn't anything holding me back to do it. It was just that I kind of wanted to save them for a later date, if that makes sense. But the date's here, and I've been really wanting to talk about them for a while, and now that I have the chance to do it, I'm going to talk about them. Now, when it comes to Rampardos, Rampardos is such an underrated Pokemon. I mean, this thing could be so much better, but the thing that's killing it is everything but its physical attack. Its physical attack is literally through the fucking roof at base 165. So it's not by any means a weak Pokemon, it's just that its defenses are shit, its speed's kind of booty. So what I'm hoping is that when it comes to its Mega Evolution, I'm hoping that a lot of this stuff does get a little bit of a buff, and that's why I'm actually making this video as well, is because I would like to see Rampardos get a huge buff and a lot of its things, or a lot of its stats, and also its ability and typing, and to make this thing a lot better and maybe a lot more viable when it comes to competitive play. Now, as you can tell from what I've done to its stats, I did increase everything because honestly, everything needs to get increased, even if it's just a little bit. So with all that, let's just get right into it. Let's pretty much just get right into it. So for its physical attack, I raised it from base 165 to base 185. Now, I really didn't want to increase its physical attack by any means because it's literally through the fucking roof. But I was thinking, like, you know what, it's going to be a Mega Evolution, its physical attack is its highest stat, it's most likely going to get a buff as well. So I was like, you know what, let's just put 20 points into its physical attack to base 185, and literally everything's just going to die in one shot. Like, I'm like dead serious. Its physical attack is through the fucking roof. At base 185 in physical attack, just there's no words that I can describe on how powerful Mega Rampardos is gonna be if this thing does get a physical attack stat like that. So once again, it's mainly known for being a physical attacker. Didn't really want to increase it, but I knew that if this thing is gonna get a Mega Evolution, its physical attack was gonna get increased, even if it's just by like 5 points. So that's why I increased it to base 185. Now for its special attack, I only increased it from base 65 to base 75, just a 10-point differential. Now the only reason why I've done that was because maybe you're probably gonna want to run like a mixed Rampardos, because Rampardos does get access to really good special moves like Thunder, Thunderbolt, Flamethrower, Fire Blast, which is kind of ironic, Ice Beam, Blizzard, like pretty much the standard special moves that normally every, like, I wouldn't say every Pokemon, but like most of the good Pokemon get, like normal type Pokemon. I mean, this also gets access to like Focus Blast. I mean, there's a lot of good special moves that Rampardos gets access to. This thing gets access to Surf as well, which is kind of surprising. But nonetheless, if you want to run like a mixed attacker, pretty much having 3 physical moves and then having 1 special move, then by all means do that. But that's the only reason why I increased it to base 95. Maybe you're probably going to be running, I don't know, like Flamethrower to pretty much take care of Steel type moves if you're not running like Fire Punch or anything like that. But once again, I only increased it just a smidge, that way you can run like a mixed Rampardos if need be, because I know there's a couple Pokemon out there that have shitty special defense, or not special defense, special attack, that also run mixed as well. So I mean, it's not going to be horrible. Let's just put it at that. Now for its physical defense, I increased it from base 60 to base 80, and its special defense from base 50 to base 70. I wanted to increase them a I wouldn't say a little bit, but I wouldn't say a lot. But regardless, its defensive stats needed to get increased, like regardless, because with base 60 and base 50 physical defense and in special defense, this thing is not going to be able to live anything whatsoever. I mean, most of the time you see people run like Focus Sash or sometimes Choice Band, but in my personal opinion, I would rather run Focus Sash just because, like I said, it's physical attack stats through the roof. So it's not like you're going to need a Choice Band to pretty much up its special attack, nor if you want to run a Life Orb. I mean, there's really no reason. It's like I said, it's attack stats through the fucking roof. But I understand if people run Life Orb, because if you're going to run like a mixed Rampardos, you're going to need that little extra boost, even if it's just a little bit for its special attacking move like Flamethrower or Fire Blast, whatever the case may be you might be running. But once again, its defensive stats needed to get increased regardless. I mean, this thing is such a glass cannon. Even with base 80 and base 70 physical defense and special defense, it's not going to be able to live all that much, depending on like what moves like your opponent goes on it, or if you switch in on it if you have to, kind of sacking it off. But regardless, like, its defenses need to get increased. I mean, base 80 is not considered a glass cannon, but at the same time, it's at the point, it's at the bare minimum of being a really okay defensive stat, or just a stat in general. Base 80 is what I would say is probably like the lowest limit you can go before actually it's complete booty. So even though it's special defense as well as at base 70, which is not all that great, I can tell you right now it's better than base 50. I mean, it's a lot better than base 50. It could potentially probably live like, I don't know, like Water Pulse, but it's not going to be that likely. I mean, I just wanted to give it a little bit more bulk to it than it would have without a Mega Evolution, because like I said, this thing is just a glass cannon and it needs to get a lot more buffs into it. Now, last but not least, its speed. I increased it from base 58 to base 88. Now, you're probably wondering why I increased its speed a lot higher than, or gave its speed a lot more base stat points than like its defenses, even though I'm telling you guys it's a glass cannon. Now, reasons being is because when I see Rampardos, I'd see it as like a very, very fast, like, I think it's a T-Rex. Is it? I'm not 100% sure. I don't know what dinosaur like Rampardos is based off of. Let's just go with like a T-Rex, because it kind of looks like Tyrantrum to an extent. Okay, but nonetheless, like, I've always seen Rampardos being very, very fast and like a charging Pokemon. When I hear and see a charging Pokemon, I expect this thing to be very, very fast. So with base 58 speed without the Mega Evolution is, in my opinion, complete ass. I mean, you can run a Choice Scarf on this thing, but it's still going to be complete ass and completely slow. I mean, what I usually like to do with like slow Pokemon, kind of like with Rampardos, is kind of run a Pokemon with Sticky Web or just with Tailwind or whatever the case may be. I like to use a lot more slower Pokemon and make them a lot more faster, if that makes sense, when I play competitively sometimes. But once again, I've always like envisioned Rampardos being a lot faster than it is right now. So with base 88 speed, I think it's a very decent speed stat for this Pokemon. It's not going to be, Rampardos in my opinion is probably not going to be one of those Pokemon that's going to be in the UU tier, or it's never going to be in the OU tier, I can guarantee you that. But with its attack stat being as high as it is right now, and if it gets a speed stat at base 88 with its Mega Evolution, I can see this thing being between UU and the tier right below UU, if that makes sense. I don't know what tiers below UU. I keep getting NU and RU mixed up, but tomato pretty much. But so that's where I actually see Rampardos, Mega Rampardos ending up, because it's still kind of considered a glass cannon. Moves can still one-shot this thing very, very easily, so it's not by any means like a very overpowered Mega, if that makes sense. Now, as a regular Rampardos, its base stat's going to be at 495, and with the Mega Evolution, it's going to be at 595. Now, for its ability, I decided to give this thing Rock Head. Now, the reason why I've given this thing Rock Head, because it does get access to Head Smash, which is a 150 base power rock type move that does recoil, and that is Rampardos' strongest rock type, stab type move, and it deals recoil. So I decided to give this thing Rock Head just so that it could take advantage of the Head Smash and not get any recoil against it, because this is such a strong move. I'm pretty sure, and I guarantee you, that if Rampardos lands a Head Smash, a stab Head Smash with base 150 attack power, your opponent's gonna get blown away, or at least it's gonna deal like 80 to 90% of damage to your opponent's Pokemon, depending on what Pokemon you're hitting. But besides the point, I decided to give it Rock Head just to take advantage of the Head Smash move, and also it does get access to Double Edge. I've seen some people run Double Edge on their Rampardos. I mean, it's a very, very strong hitting move, so I wouldn't see why not run it. And so with like the Rock Head ability for its Mega, I can see this thing running maybe like Head Smash, Double Edge, maybe Rock Polish, and then for a coverage move, probably what's the move called? Fire Punch, or maybe like Flamethrower or something like that to take care of Steel type moves. But once again, I gave it Rock Head to take advantage of those two moves that deal recoil, but mainly towards the Head Smash move. And now for its typing, I actually decided to add on the Dragon type characteristics because, once again, like I said, to me, Rampardos kind of reminds me a lot of Tyrantrum. So I decided to add on the Dragon type characteristics, making this thing a Rock Dragon type Pokemon. And before you guys start complaining and saying like, oh, Rampardos doesn't get access to any Dragon type Pokemon, well, I do have Cerebi up, and I've been looking at this before I started to record this video, and it does get access to Dragon Tail, Dragon Pulse, but no one's going to use that. But it does get access to Outrage, and that is the strongest Dragon type move out there, if I'm not mistaken, physical wise. Is Dragon Ascent a flying type move? I think it's a flying type move. Is it? We're just going to call it a flying type move, but it does get access to Outrage, which is the strongest Dragon type physical type move out there. So you can run like Double Edge, Head Smash, Outrage, and then like Rock Polish or something like that. And you're pretty much set to go for a moveset for Rampardos. But with all that said, there is Mega Rampardos. So anyways, guys, thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that like button. Also, don't forget to comment and subscribe. Now, I told you guys that we were going to be talking about the Sinnoh fossils because, in my opinion, the Sinnoh fossils are kind of underrated a lot, and I would like to see them get more recognition and more limelight, if that makes sense. So that's why we're talking about them. So since we already talked about Rampardos, we are going to be talking about Mega Bastiodon, and that's going to be the first. That's going to be next week. So coming next week, we are going to be talking about Mega Bastiodon, so I hope you guys are ready for that, because I'm actually very excited to talk about that Pokemon as well. So with all that said, like I said, thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that like button. Also, don't forget to comment and subscribe. So this is White Boy for the win, and I'll catch you guys later.